Welcome back to the Sports Barn. It is the Big E, Eric Arnold, here on Tuesday, the 10th of August. Well, I'm feeling better. One last night. That's 9 in a row. 9 in a row. I got up this morning and I was feeling, I feel better. You know what? I was doing my research here for the show this morning, and I thought to myself as I put some AC/DC on, I feel better. You know what? I may not have been sick at all. I may have just not been listening to enough AC/DC. You feel bad, you feel down, you're sleepy, you're tired, you're depressed. You put some fucking AC/DC on, man, and that'll get you moving. So I think that's what the issue was. That could be the cure to this whole COVID thing. We just start playing more AC/DC. Play it everywhere. Play it on the radio. Play it on the loudspeakers. Play it in the car. Play it from airplanes. AC/DC, man. That's what we need. So I feel good. I'm ready to go here. Let's do some work here. Let's do some show. What are we doing? Yesterday, one winner. That's all we played, one winner. The White Sox, easy. No problem. Hey, if they could all be so easy, right? Pittsburgh Louis didn't play yesterday. He must. So some days he just. I guess he has a life too. I guess so. Sometimes he doesn't play. Sometimes he has like 8 games. But anyway, one winner yesterday. Well, what do we got for you today? We only have 2 games for you later in the show, just 2 picks, even though it is a full card. The first game of a series, I'm a little cautious on that first game of a series often, until I kind of feel how the vibes are going, how the teams are interacting. Maybe don't jump right out there. I like the second and the third games of a series better than the first game. So we got just 2 picks today. Wanted to say something for our Pittsburgh subscribers. I know we have more than a few Pittsburgh subscribers. The aforementioned Pittsburgh Louis, for one. Apparently Mike Lange is hanging it up. Do you know who Mike Lange is? He is the longtime Pittsburgh Penguin hockey announcer. Now, I used to hate this guy. I used to absolutely hate him. I mean, I was introduced to Mike Lange back in 1989 when I was a junior at Ohio State. I was rooming with a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. And wouldn't you know, here the Flyers play the Penguins in the quarterfinals of the hockey playoffs that year. And, at that point in time, the Flyers had always owned the Penguins, just owned them. I mean, forevermore. I mean, there had been a long stretch there where the Penguins had not won in Philadelphia since like 1973. It was something crazy like that. The Flyers had beaten them like 50 straight times in Philadelphia. But now they got this guy, Mario Lemieux, who, frankly, you could not deny how good this guy was. He was just better than everybody on my team, everyone on their team, anyone on anyone's team, with the exception of Gretzky. He was just incredible. And now all of a sudden, this team that we've beaten is good. And they have this annoying announcer that just drove me crazy, because now I'm starting to lose to this team we always used to beat. And they would, make sure that you know that you lost. If you've never heard of Mike Lange call, please look it up on YouTube. The general way it would go is he calls the goal, he shoots and scores, and then he follows it up with a catchphrase that, he had about 6 to 10 of them. But, and when he was really excited, it would be, he shoots and scores. And then you'd have Michael motorcycle, or, oh, he didn't know whether to cry or wind his watch, or, let's see, scratch my back with a hacksaw. And then, you know, he reserved some of the best ones for the Flyers, like after we got our ass kicked by them and the game's over. He shoots and scores. Elvis has left the building. Or my favorite, he shoots and scores. Mario beat Hextall like a rented mule. So I come to appreciate the guy in later life. It's like, all right, Flyers suck. They're just not any good anymore. So I kind of came to appreciate Lange. I mean, he's definitely one of a kind. And, you know, when you're no longer in the same league as the team that's kicking your ass, you can kind of appreciate them more. So the Flyers are no longer any good, so I can kind of appreciate Mike Lange now. So, you know, from this Philadelphia fan to you Penguin fans, I'm sorry your announcer's retiring. You know, he was entertaining. I'll give you that. He was entertaining. So Mike Lange from the Flyers here in the Sports Barn. Salute to you. Have a good retirement. All right, what's next? Just read this, and I thought, well, sure, we'll mention this. Has to do with baseball. Apparently, MLB, and this comes from the New York Post, MLB is in talks with Barstool to broadcast games next year. I'm not crazy about the way these. It's a me problem, and I get it. I'm old. I've got my AARP card, but they're starting to broadcast more and more games via the computer only, and it's not on my TV. And you know, I'm a you know, a child of the 70s. I need my TV, and I have not yet figured out how to make the tech work where I could stream the thing through the internet to the TV. I know it's easy. I know most people do that under the age of 50. I just have never done it. And, you know, so, but I know that's the way of the future and what have you. And I guess MLB now is just looking for, I don't know, more partners, I guess. ESPN, I guess, dropped part of their package, which is fine. ESPN sucks. That is just a bad network. And if MLB, by accident, no longer partners with ESPN, that'd be to MLB's advantage, I think. Barstool, I think, would bring in a lot more interest. It would be different. They would do things differently than ESPN. Ultimately, I think Barstool would be better than ESPN. They're just interested in trying new things. And not necessarily, you know, every time ESPN tries something new, it's simply a woke thing. You know, that's all they do is you can predict what ESPN's going to do, just as if the sun was rising in the east. If they try something new, it's going to have something to do with progressive politics. That's all they do. But Barstool, I think, was still more along straight down the middle. We're trying to find ways to interest the fan, and they're more centered on betting, which frankly is what we're doing here in the barn anyway. I mean, we're really not that interested in whether the White Sox are going to beat the Twins on game 113 of a 162 game season, except for the fact that we bet on the White Sox. So that's what we want to talk about anyway. In other words, that's great and all that, you know, the White Sox got some middle reliever up who's from Visalia, Illinois, who's never pitched in the majors before, whose Aunt May baked him some oatmeal cookies this morning, and that's what he likes to eat before he goes out there to pitch. What we really want to talk about is betting and the numbers, and how do we think this affects the inline game, the game numbers, and should we do some live bets here, or do we think this kid's going to get taken deep by the sluggers from the White Sox or what have you? So that's what we want to talk about. So let's do it. I mean, there's no more restrictions here. Thank God. I never thought I'd say this. Thank God for Chris Christie. Thank God for that guy. They laughed at him. They laughed at him all up and down the line when he pursued his hopeless quest to get rid of these idiotic, goddamn stupid rules, laws that prohibited sports betting in this country forever past. And goddamn Bill Bradley, Senator Bill Bradley, that bastard from New Jersey, had a lot to do with all those laws that restricted sports betting in this country for the last 50 years. Well, Chris Christie finally took his crusade to the Supreme Court, and by God, he won. Against all odds, he won, and now, the world is all different and better. Can't often say that. Usually the world changes for the worst, but Chris Christie actually did make the world better. Again, I never thought I'd say that. But hey, so, that's what we're here. That's what we're talking about. MLB, I guess, I give them so little credit because I think Rob Manfred's a Marxist idiot. But, hey, if they can actually hook that up with Barstool, kudos to MLB. All right, what's left? I guess we'll just get to the picks. I actually did a little research last night on college football. I'm probably not going to be ready just because I ended up going down some rabbit hole and watching like a bowl game from 2 years ago and watched like it for 90 minutes. It's like, okay, I've got, there's 100 and some teams in Division I, and at this rate, I'll know 2 of them. Our opener here, we're going to take the Dodgers tonight down in Philadelphia. The Phillies are, 6, 7 wins in a row? I've lost track. They've marched to the head of the class now in the NL East. They're the top team in the NL East. This is a game the Dodgers, they really need to win this game, if you can believe that. They're 4 games back of the Giants. The Giants are at home tonight against the Diamondbacks. They're probably going to win that game. The Dodgers lose this game with probably their top pitcher. Max Scherzer's now probably their ace, if you will. They're 5 back. 5 back against a team that hasn't lost more than 50 times all year. It's getting late early. So the Dodgers, I think, really, know, hey, we have got to win some games now. We have got to start reeling off 8, 9 wins out of 10. No more goofing around. We have got to win some games. Max Scherzer owns the Phillies. That's your bottom line here. He owns the Phillies. He particularly owns Citizens Bank Ballpark. Last time out against the Phillies, we had a bunch of people huffing and puffing, but nobody really, it's a baseball controversy. No one actually throws punches in a baseball controversy. They huff and puff and call each other names, but it's nothing really, physical. Scherzer knocked down a Philly player. Girardi got mad and ordered a check of foreign substances on Scherzer. Then Scherzer really got mad. If I was Girardi, I'd be all over Scherzer tonight. They never beat this guy, so I would be trying to get in his head from the word go. I'd be ordering multiple checks of his hat, his glove, his whatnot. I know I would knock the guy down the first time he came up to bat. Boom! I'd pay him back from that low bridge he gave Alec Boehm 6-8 weeks ago. So I definitely would pay him back for that. I would try to get in this guy's head. Now, I don't think Girardi's going to do any of that. I think Scherzer's going to go out and he's going to do his normal thing, and he's going to throw his 7 innings of 1-run ball, and that'll be enough for the Dodgers. Aaron Nola is very likely going to give up multiple runs. He's simply not that good. So laying 155 here, I think that's a deal. We'll take the Dodgers. Astros, Rockies. You're getting a premium team here in the Astros against a terrible team. Rockies are two different teams. Remember that. They're good at home and they're bad, and I mean really bad on the road. Like one of the worst teams in baseball on the road. So they're on the road. This is a really bad team. I mean, the Astros up against, if it said the Rangers or it said the Orioles, that'd be minus 220 or something. The Rockies, that should be a higher number. The Astros didn't play well over the weekend. They've had an off day to reset themselves. I said the Astros were clean yesterday. In other words, they're good. They're gone. They've won the West. It's over. They're only 2 games up. I had it in my head they were further ahead than that. I guess I have 2 things I'm looking at as far as the Astros go. Just the discrepancy in runs scored between them and the A's leads me to believe that the Astros are better. And then the A's just lost one of their best players for the rest of the year. So I'm thinking the Astros at some point are just going to pull away. And I think it's going to, start tonight, basically, that they're going to look around and say, all right, it is time to play hard here. It is time to stop screwing around, losing 3 out of 4 at home to the crummy Twins. Now we've got a day off. We've got a bad team coming in here. Let's do what good teams do to bad teams, kick their ass. So I think the Astros, are going to get up early and often on the Rockies. Easy winner there. So Rockies, Dodgers, those are our only 2 picks today. There you have that. So football season approaching. We'll do something. We'll be ready. NFL, college football. We'll still throw some baseball in then once we get into September. It's going to be hot and heavy. I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do that yet, but we'll do the best we can. So 9 in a row here in the barn. That's what we've got going right now. 9 wins in a row. So, hey, the barn is hot. See you tomorrow, hopefully.